Join the Craig Levitt Show Sunday evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. on 50,000 Watt News Talk 720 KDWN. The Craig Levitt Hour will be about living the American dream and empowering the American spirit. Sundays, 7 to 8 p.m.
Good morning. This is the Craig Levitt Show. I am Craig Levitt, and with me this morning is our technical and promotional director, Chris Finnegan.
Happy to be here again.
Happy to be here every day. I know that the promo, when the show first starts, tells people about our Sunday night show on KDWN in Las Vegas, and we also have this show. Now, if you're listening to this, you already know this, that we have this show Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we would like for you to tell your friends. Some of our friends in Las Vegas have sort of started a campaign to get people to listen to our daily broadcast here on the CraigLevittShow.com. And we want to encourage our friends in Mesquite to do the same thing. We've had a lot of fun, by the way, in Mesquite, Nevada this last little while. We came up here to see what was here, and we've just been overwhelmed by all the good things that Mesquite has to offer. I mean, it's an incredible place.
It is beyond compare.
Yesterday we stayed for the veterans presentation at the 1,000 flags over Mesquite. Have you all seen that? If you live in Mesquite, have you seen that? Go over to the ball field and take a look at 1,000 flags over Mesquite that honors our veterans. It was a thrilling experience. In fact, all day yesterday, Veterans Day, was a thrilling experience. I mean, this town really comes out, to support the veterans and to say thanks for service and all that sort of thing. In fact, yesterday, Christopher and I went to the Casablanca. And they're so kind there. They had a buffet for the veterans and guests, and it was really something. I mean, that was an incredible buffet. And there are some little gals that worked as cashiers and hostesses there, and I told them I was going to give them a shout out. So here goes my shout out to the sweet little gals at the buffet in the Casablanca. There's Jennifer, who has a smile that would stop a ship. I mean, she is just absolutely the cutest little thing, and her smile is just so infectious, so endearing. We had Kimmy. Kimmy is the same. She's very, very pleasant. She wanted to make sure that I said her name correctly, Kimmy. And I hope I did okay. And then there was this other little gal. She has the cutest name. Her name is Viviana. And as I was leaving the buffet, she said, "Now don't forget my name." And I said, "I will never forget your name. It's Viviana." And she said, "Don't say it wrong." Why is it everybody looks at me and thinks, well, he's not the brightest bulb on the tree. I better, So here's how I remembered Viviana. Doesn't it sound like kind of a Godfather type of name? Hey, Viviana, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know, but hey, Viviana, thank you for your service. When you helped me get a table yesterday at the buffet. Thank you, Viviana. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you for everything that did good yesterday. There at the buffet at the Casablanca. How's that now, Viviana? Is that pretty good or what? Okay, so I've given my shout out to these gals, and they were just so cute as we came up, and the Casablanca buffet offered a free meal to a veteran and a guest, and you think they would have been just sick and tired of seeing a bunch of old guys with veterans hats on, but they weren't. And everyone that came in, they said, "Thank you for your service." I thought that was I thought that was really neat. So to my gals there, thanks for helping us have just a great day. And then we met so many fun people. Being the kind of person I am, and Christopher the kind that he is, we wanted to go to the management of the Casablanca and express our appreciation for what they have done for the veterans. And so we were looking around, and I wanted to look at the corporate office, and I asked a security guard, how do I get down to the business office? And of course his ears perked up, and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I just want to thank whomever is in charge for this incredible, deal they've done for the veterans. And he said, well, you might want to talk to this fellow. And so he introduced us to Scott Singer. Scott Singer is way, way, way up the management ladder. I mean, I think he's in the general managership range, that area up there. And as busy as he was so kind and generous and courteous as to take a few moments and let us talk to him about, first of all, what an incredible place he was running, and the staff that he had, how incredibly wonderful they were. And he just sat and patiently listened as we talked about the veterans, and we talked about, I guess, just about every subject we could think about pertaining to the Casablanca and how they treated our veterans. And he was just so kind. And I know out there, my friends, that I can be awfully irritating. I mean, sometimes people carry around a can of Raid because I bug them so much. And I appreciate his sociality and willingness to let us talk yesterday. But he was an incredible fellow, wasn't he?
He was a very, very nice man. And
everybody at the Casablanca was great. So
very much so.
We just had a lot of fun. And then while we were there eating at that buffet, half of it was food like I like. The meat, potatoes, gravy, all that good stuff, and an incredible salad bar. All of these wonderful things. And on the other side of the buffet, about everything you can imagine as seafood. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it was a sight to behold. I haven't seen a spread like that in a while.
And it was delicious.
It was very, very good.
You go to some buffets and you go where they have the gravy. I always go where they have the gravy. And sometimes it's been sitting out so long that there's a thick skin on the gravy and there's almost hard lumps in it. You have to break through that before you get to the, soft stuff.
Yeah.
Not at the Casablanca. Sorry. It was absolutely fantastic. Scott, to you and all of your staff over there, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do for the veterans and what you did for me, the obnoxious one, and my sidekick Tonto yesterday. Met a guy there. Do you remember the guy that was an author?
Yeah, very
There's a guy that writes historical novels or books. I mean,
historical nonfiction.
That's what he writes, and his name is Russell Eslak, and he actually lives in St. George, so we didn't want to spend too much time with him. But terribly interesting fellow, and we just had a great time the whole time. And then last night has got to be the Queen Mother of all Veterans Day activities that I have attended. And I'm an older guy, and I have attended so many that they almost become repetitive. But last night, Chris and my family and I went over to the Thousand Flags over Mesquite. Oh,
what a celebration. It was just breathtaking.
It was, you know what? It was perfect because of its non-perfection. I mean, it was the townspeople coming together in just a we're townspeople type of a way. There was no real precision in terms of, everything having to follow a script. I mean, Mayor Littman, he is my political idol. He got to give a talk. Now, most mayors, when they have a chance to speak, they're like I am. They like to hear their voice, and so they, go on. Mayor Littman spoke for 1 minute. And he said, that's all I have to say. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. That was really fun. The fellow, Paul Benedict, I believe, it was Paul Benedict. This guy, he was really something. He was the master of ceremonies last night from the Exchange Club, and our hat goes off to this Exchange Club for what they were able to put together last night there on the ball field. I mean, it was incredible, and he was a great MC, kept everything under control, which is not easy to do outside in the stands next to a ball field. People, I don't know how many people were there, but there was a great number of Mesquitites and the veterans, and they paid honor and tribute in just the most remarkable way. And there were some really great people. Yesterday, we met Ken Maynard and his wife over at the Mesquite Veterans Center. Have y'all, you people that live in Mesquite, have y'all been over to the Veterans Center? I mean, you don't have to pay any money. You don't, just go look at what they've got. What these under Ken Maynard's leadership, what they've done there. And the community, this marvelous Mesquite, Nevada, has come together in a way that I've never seen before.
Nor have I. It was impressive beyond words. It's a living museum, basically.
That was absolutely incredible. So last night we go there, and Paul Benedict was the master of ceremonies, and there were wonderful donations that were made and checks given to the Veterans Center and all sorts of things. It was just you and me, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of we're just us. It's just us people. We're not trying to impress anybody, and in their own unobtrusive way. I mean, from the color guard of veterans and the Boy Scouts that were helping, to the Sun City Singers, and they were cute. Were they cute?
They were adorable.
I mean, they were good.
They were.
And we loved them.
We did.
And I would like to know what they're doing in the future so that I can have some friends from Las Vegas, Nevada come zipping up to see them, because they were just so cute. They sang medleys of patriotic songs, and it was incredible. And then, of course, I'm a little bit out of the printed page, but the Pledge of Allegiance was offered by Barbara Elistad, and she was humble. I mean, she was very touched and honored to be able to do the Pledge of Allegiance at that ceremony. The national anthem was sung by a local boy, Brian Worston, and it was good. I mean, it added to the ambiance that Christopher and I have felt as we've been working here in Mesquite, Nevada. And it was just an absolutely incredible thing. And Paul Benedict quoted a little something that was written by a veteran called "What a Veteran." Well, I could go on. "What a Veteran Knows," and then the Sun City Singers sang, and it was. I gotta tell you, I would come back every year to see this presentation. I mean, we had to plan that, to come back to Mesquite every year and be part of this celebration. Let's see. This was the ninth
year.
The ninth year.
And even if you're not from Mesquite, if you're in Vegas or St. George, you need to come and check it out.
And maybe I can expand on not just checking it out. You got to come experience this. And the mayor here, he is the neatest guy. Let me tell you what. He is so unobtrusive. He is so just one of the guys. He talks for 1 minute, and he's fulfilled his civic duty. But the town over which Mayor Littman presides is a credit to not only him and his staff and other elected officials, but to everyone. I mean, the Exchange Club, the Veterans Center, the Chamber of Commerce, and all of the individual businesses. I mean, we met one couple last night, the City Shop's embroidery. They were so cool. They were so friendly. And when I introduced myself to Mayor Littman as Craig Levitt from the Craig Levitt radio show in Las Vegas, Nevada, this man, in a very kind way, said, "Thank you for promoting us." So I want to promote him. If you need any embroidery done, go on over there to the City Shop's embroidery. I mean, they do a great job. And here's the thing, Christopher and I were there yesterday. They didn't know it. But we actually walked by the shop, saw what they did. They do good work, don't they?
It looked pretty darn good to me.
I thought it was. And they were just absolutely, thank you. Well, no, let me tell you something. Thank you. Mesquite, you've been great to us. And we only have 2 more days here. And then we're going to be having to go back and explain to our listeners in Las Vegas why we abdicated. Do you have any thoughts about yesterday you want to share, Christopher?
Well, I think you pretty much covered it all, except for an interesting personal feeling I had.
Yeah.
Pretty much right near the end of not quite the end, but near the end of the show, I had a sense of Christmas, which was kind of an interesting feeling. So I thought that was kind of an interesting development, and I thought, what an awesome way to feel the beginning of Christmas.
Yeah. You know, you and I are alike in so many ways that it frightens me. Yesterday, right after the presentation, my wife Leanne and my daughter Cheyenne and I went to the Virgin River buffet. I gotta tell you folks, I ate more yesterday, but it was just absolutely, everything's fresh, clean, and the people were so kind. I have never eaten I've eaten at the little cafe there in the Virgin River, you know, but I gotta tell you, that buffet and the one at the Casablanca were just incomparable. I mean, they're just no way to explain. You just got to go there, people. You just got to go see what these folks at the Virgin River and at the Casablanca, what they do. I mean, they're just absolutely incredible. Okay. Now, somebody, and you know who you are. You know, out there, you know who you are, right? Told Christopher, okay, and he's a tattletale. You know, he has no confidence barrier. You tell him something, it's coming right to me. But it doesn't come like, you know, tittle, tittle, tattle, tittle, tittle. It's, there's people out there that agree with me, Craig. You got to straighten up. So anyway, yeah, I had one last week told me I was corny. Yeah, she told me I was corny. She said Ann Narrance, who was our guest, was very good.
Terry Narrance.
Terry, did I say Ann?
You did.
Well, there goes that relationship.
She'll just have to get a new name. That's all there is.
Terry. Yeah, her parents misnamed her.
Yeah.
It should have been Ann.
There you go.
I'm very inspired in things like this, folks. Terry Narrance. I'm sorry. Terry, we love you. You know that. And I apologize. But the lady said that Terry was very, very good. She enjoyed listening to Terry. But that guy was corny. And they told, see, and he told me, he says, Craig, I've been telling you for years, you got to just settle down because people think you're corny. Well, apparently one of you out there in our, and please understand, I can take criticism. I don't do anything about it, but I can take it.
He takes it on the air. That's how he takes it.
That's the point I'm trying to say. So this person said to Tonto over here, See, he already kept building a case against why I shouldn't do this show and he should. But anyway, he said to me, well, somebody on the street told me they listened to the show and they thought it was just an advertisement show because I spent so much time talking about P-Dub and Iceberg Diamonds and everybody else. Oh. Well, to put it in Steve Martin's former language, well, excuse me. I just love talking about my friends. I only have about 3 of them, so I talk all day about my friends. But hopefully there's something of substance that you get out of our show.
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, but apparently...
Well, I find every show fascinating. I mean, I'm sitting here as part of the show, and I am glad to listen. So I can't imagine how anyone out there in our little listenership aren't enthralled by what we're saying.
You know what they say. Loose lips sink ships. All you need is one person out there giving us a bad rap, and pretty soon they'll kick us out of this town.
There you go.
Because they don't need another advertising radio station. Huh. Well, if you're you know who you are.
So if you have loose lips, go down to the Casablanca and fill them up in the buffet.
Or go to Terrible's and get some medicine. Get some cherry-flavored Diet Dr. Pepper. Cure the thing. But if you can't do that, let me just go to another aphorism. Now, you know who you are out there talking poorly about, well, for example, me. If you can't say something nice about somebody, blame it on Chris. I mean, don't, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, he's the director. He lets me get away with it. So if I get away with something, you need to let him know that, hey, you're not doing a good job as a director because the guy's corny.
And if you need some hope, go to Terrible's because that's where she works.
That's correct. Hope down at Terrible's. And you know what? Go to the big red machine and get a cup and put it right under the spigot. You'll see it. And get some medicine. You people are sick if you don't like my show. Right?
There you go.
And I got to tell you, yes, Terry Nerrance is absolutely phenomenal. But I'm better. But not in everything. She is really cool. Anyway, we're through planned. As you know from the theme of our show, it is that on this radio station, you can learn everything you will ever need to know about everything you will ever need to know everything about. I mean, this show is loaded with pure intelligence and wisdom. And, well, I guess that's about it. So, we also have another theme. It's called Living the American Dream and Empowering the American Spirit. And I think sometimes I get off that. A week ago, I believe we had a show on the American Dream. And the American Dream is not something that to which everybody aspires. Everybody has their own idea, their own American dream. And our only question is this: are you living your dream? And if you're not living your dream, why not? And what do we have to do to help you get the power that you need to live your American dream? So I was thinking about that. What is it that empowers this American spirit? Because we say live the American dream and empower the American spirit. The American spirit of yes, I can do, comes from people who are doing. And as people make their dreams come true and are living their American dream, it creates an uplift. It creates a motivating power that people can employ in their own lives to to begin living their own dream. And so that's what our show was supposed to be about. I wasn't supposed to be corny. I wasn't supposed to be just plugging a bunch of businesses, even though they're my dear friends and I love them.
And they deserve plugging.
And they deserve to be plugged. I mean, P-Dub is the best. Iceberg Diamonds, everything I've ever said about you, right there. But today I want to talk about this American spirit. Because it's something every one of us can use. All of us have a dream. I think in the movie South Pacific, there's a little song that goes, happy talking, happy talking. Then part of it goes, if you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? That's how they sang it. Anyway, so if you don't have an American dream, if you don't have a dream, how's it going to come true? Do you ever think about that, Christopher?
I do. Every night.
See, if you people out there are where you are, but it isn't where you want to be. What? Hello? What does it say? Back in the Old Testament, it says, without vision, the people perish. And if you're stuck financially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, you're stuck. And you don't want to be where you are. What do? Well, you rely upon this incredible American spirit. And it will empower you. And if you don't like where you are, I'm going to give you a one-word suggestion. Okay. If you don't like where you are, move. If you're not where you are financially, move. Do something to improve your finances. If emotionally you're not where you want to be, move to a different level. I mean, if you're not where you want to be intellectually, you feel as dumb as a slate board, move. Do something to improve to where you want to be. That makes sense?
Makes perfect sense to me.
I discovered a book years ago. I think it was Charles Schirrault. Anyway, it was a Sunday morning show. And he said, I really don't ever talk about the books that I read on the show. And folks, I've read so many books that if they could actually turn my brain into something solid, it would be a library of midget books, because, that's how it's stored in your brain. But he said, I read this book, and it really, I have to give it a shout out. And so I want to talk about this incredible book today in terms of, if you're not happy with where you are, move. If you're not happy being idle, do something. And for heaven's sakes, don't pick on the people who are doing things and who are on the move. Catch some of that power from their motion. The name of this book is The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. It was written by a man, Jean-Dominique Bauby, B-A-U-B-Y. Jean-Dominique Bauby, and he lived in Paris, France. He was the editor of the French Elle magazine, which is a women's magazine, very prosperous. I mean, the guy had money. He had everything that you and I might think would be, the trappings of success. But one day, he was driving to work in his fancy sports car, and he had a massive stroke. And he actually developed what is called the locked-in syndrome. Locked-in syndrome. What that means is nothing works. He was paralyzed totally, except in his left eye. Okay, folks. Let's stop and ponder this for a moment. Brilliant man, had everything he wanted, had divorced his wife. I mean, he had some problems, like all of us have, and wasn't really close to his kids. Wanted to be, but wasn't, and all of these things. And he was just a financial resource for what used to be his family and that sort of thing. But he was still active, and a stroke took all of that away. And he records in the book how, and this could be interesting how he records it, but he would hear the nurses and the staff talking about, oh, so-and-so's pregnant, and so, oh, why, have you eaten over here at the Casablanca? He didn't know about the Casablanca, but if they had known about the Casablanca, that's what the nurses and the technicians would have been talking about. It. Have you, and all of these other things, totally blocking him out because he was, I hate to use the term vegetable, but his body was useless. Nothing worked except his left eye. And so one day, one of the nurses who was in a conversation with a bunch of people, some of the staff members, about, oh, did you know what happened? Oh, did you know what she did? No, but he did this, and it was terrible. And they were doing it French. So let me try that. Did you see what was going on in the place? I'm telling you now, it is not the way he was supposed. Anyway, he heard this going on. And they were just ignoring him, like he was just so much linen on a bed. But he had the full use of his brain. And they're finding now that some people who were totally discombobulated by a stroke still have their brains. They still think. Okay. So he couldn't say anything. He couldn't grunt a sound or make a noise of any kind. And he just thought, people, hello, I'm over here, I'm a human being. And one of the nurses, her name was Claude, C-L-A-U-D, I believe anyway, she looked over and noticed that his left eye was twitching. So, as curiosity, 86 the feline, curiosity kills the old cat. She walked over to the bed and looked at him, and his eye stopped twitching. And she said, Do you want something? And he blinked his eye. Wow. And together they communicated. And together, by his blinking his left eye, they were able to communicate back and forth. So together, through his blinking eye, she would talk to him, and he would blink out, and she would say, A, and he would either blink one blink for yes or two blinks for no, and go through the alphabet until she was able to spell out on a pad of paper what he was trying to say. And so this man had developed communication. Can you folks imagine what it would be like to be in a world where you could not communicate? I would die. If I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice,
You'd have to go back and listen to the archives. See?
There you go. And all of you folks can do that by going to the CraigLevisShow.com. Just go back and I would do. But, anyway, so in their communications, they decided to write a book for people who are able to use a computer and spell check and everything. That's not a real problem, because after you do a manuscript, spell check it, grammar check it, all of these kinds of things, and you look brilliant. And then the editor gets it, with PDF or something, and redoes everything. But you're laying there unable to do anything except blink your eye. And he decides to write a book. And the name of the book, of course, was The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. And what it means is that sometimes his life was like being on the bottom of the ocean in one of those tight little diving bells. I mean, he couldn't get out. He couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't do anything. Totally constricted and compacted. But then he would become a butterfly. And he was free, rode upon the breezes, saw the beauties of the earth. And he could create in his mind a dinner date with Cleopatra, or walking along a beach and listening to the ocean. And that was the butterfly. And he said that whether he was in a diving bell or a butterfly was simply a state of mind. And so laboriously, blinking only his left eye, with a nurse who was so compassionate, so totally dedicated to this patient. She spent hours and hours and hours before and after her shift to help. And I know something about this. Back in the 50s, there was a world-class skier named Jill Kenmont. Any of you remember her out there? I mean, she was everything. She was like Peekaboo Street. I mean, she was the world's best skier. And she was up at Alta Ski Resort out of Salt Lake City. And she took a terrible fall, broke her neck. And because of the road conditions and the old ambulances, it took too long and the ride was so rough that when they got her to the Salt Lake County Hospital, she was paralyzed. And my mother, who was the penultimate nurse, I mean, she was absolutely the best, took this Jill Kenmont under her wing and did the same kind of thing to help her get back to where she was somewhat functional. But this gal was working with a boy, a man, who could never be functional again. And they came up with this phenomenal book, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. And here's the thing. They worked on it so hard. Night and day. And he would pray that the day would hurry so that the nurse could come back and write some more pages. And it's only 131 pages. It's very simple words. But it was published just 2 days before he died. And so this incredible testimony to the American spirit, even though it was in France, I don't know how it got over there, but it was there. And he did not want to spend the rest of his life as a non-essential. He was still a human being. He was limited, of course, but he was still a human being, and he did not want to spend the rest of his life being rotated to avoid, the bed sores or, all the other uncomfortable things. He even would, while they were feeding him his food through a tube, he would think about dining in one of the finer restaurants. You got to have an imagination, folks. I got to tell you. And he did. And he didn't want to end his life as a nothing. So he moved. And he finally found someone who was willing to help him. And he did what nobody else that I know of has ever done. Now, try this, folks. Try using your left eye and blinking at the alphabet, just writing a simple note. If the word is more than 10 letters long, I would forget the word. But he didn't. So when we talk about, if you're not happy where you are, move. If you're not happy with what you're doing, do something else. If you're not happy with how you feel a different way. Do something that changes that feeling. If you're not happy, do something that will make you happy. Now, I'm not talking about going out to a bar and getting so drunk you fall off the stool and say, "Oh, I'm really happy now. Look at me." Happiness is not a physical feeling. That's contentment and that's pleasure. But happiness is something that begins on the inside. And just being able to blink his eye made Jean-Dominique Bauby happy because he was accomplishing something. He was doing something. He was no longer just another statistic in the wacko ward or in the, And yes, they did teach him how to get into, they could lift him into a wheelchair and he wouldn't slide out. I mean, it was a major thing the day he got to learn how to sit in a chair tied in while somebody pushed him out onto the veranda where he could see, the scenery. I'm so big on the fact that people in America today are caught in a trap. It's like Elvis Presley would say, "Caught in a trap, I can't get out." If you're caught in a trap, get out of the dang thing. And you don't have to gnaw your foot off like a wolf, that's caught in a trap. If you're caught in a trap, find the door to opportunity, open it, and get out of the trap. What do you think about that, Christopher?
I totally agree with you. It's a trap of our own making, so if we can make our trap, we can unmake it.
Yeah. So if you're out there today going, I don't know how many more days I got to live before I can die and get out of this mess, your thinking is all wrong. Today is the day, better than any other day, because it's today, right? And what are you going to do today? Well, you can sit around and have a pity party, but pretty soon you're going to have all the tea and crumpets by yourself because nobody wants to come to your pity party.
Even you don't want to be at your own pity party.
Yeah, because people like to share their misery. And they're not content unless they can make other people miserable.
They share their misery on the false attempt of being less miserable, not realizing you can't put two negatives together to make a positive when you're talking feelings and thoughts and emotion. You're just going to pull people down.
And the thing that is so incredibly important, folks, is that every one of us have those kinds of days every now and then.
Yeah.
We get stuck. And we can't get out. We don't know what we're going to do. We don't have an idea. Everyone from God to Obama to your parents are responsible for your lot in life. I'd have been happy if my parents hadn't, created me ugly, or I would have been just happy if I could have had an education. Yeah, sure, people with a college education do better than people that don't have one, I guess, but I didn't have one, and I wish I did. Hello, if you're not happy where you are, just stand up on your own 2 feet and move. And just move. Do something different. Think something different. Feel something different. If you're tired of what the world is doing to you, you do something to change the world for somebody else. It's called service. And you see a lot of that in Mesquite.
A whole bunch of that.
Hey, if you're feeling poorly, I guarantee you that somebody is feeling worse and could use a cheery word. And if you were to get on the telephone and give Mabel the cheery word, just thinking about you, love you, and I'll be thinking about you all day. It's not going to cure Mabel. But she'll feel better, and something is going to happen inside you that you're going to feel better. If you want more money, go make more money. Quit waiting for the government to write you another check. I don't know why you can't get more money from the government. They got a lot of it. Hey, that money that we pay as taxpayers is to help take care of the nation, not to make it possible for you to be on the same financial level as Mitt Romney. If you don't like where you are, move. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the diving bell and the butterfly. Some people get into a woe me thing. Well, I can never be happy again. because my spouse is gone. That's sad. I'm with you. I can never be happy again because I have diabetes, or I found out that I have cancer, or I found out that I'm no longer qualified to do anything because I can't run a computer. By the way, folks, if it wasn't for Christopher, I would be the mental equivalent of a Jean-Dominique Balbi. I would be completely paralyzed. And he's so brilliant at these things that I can hook into that anyway. Christopher and I believe that the way to succeed in this world, whether it's spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, or financially, is just to have luck. Right?
Yep, good luck.
Well, yeah. It's all up to luck. I mean, if you have good luck, you succeed, you'll be happy, you'll feel better, you'll make lots of friends and win an award for being the happiest person on your block. If you have bad luck, then what is it they used to sing on Hee Haw? Gloom, despair, agony on me. You know, that sort of thing. What was it? Heartfelt depression, excessive misery. If it hadn't been for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, agony on me. And so, I mean, you know, of course, the three guys that sang that are all dead now. But, you know, that's okay. Luck is the key to success. Luck is the key. Got to have luck. If you don't have luck, you're washed up. You might as well just go lay on a beach somewhere and let little kids throw rocks at you because you're done. Without luck, you're done. Faith? No. I believe in faith. Don't get me wrong. But you got to have luck. You got to have more luck than you have faith. Do you agree with that, Christopher?
I do.
Yeah. See, so all of you people out there that are in the denominational world, whether you're Latter-day Saint, Methodist, Catholic, Lutherans, you know, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, whatever. Don't put me down as an infidel.
Put a little bit of that faith in your good luck.
Yeah. Now, luck does not mean having a horseshoe turned right side up so the luck doesn't run out. Has nothing to do with a rabbit's foot because apparently that very rabbit's foot wasn't too lucky for the rabbit that had it. And so and four-leaf clovers, I got to tell you what, ain't going to find one. Okay? Shamrocks, they're called, and little leprechauns bouncing around. I saw a bunch of them one day, a bunch of red-headed leprechauns. It was a preschool in Ireland. So you're not going to find one. So you're not going to get any luck there. You're not going to get any luck rubbing the bald guy's head. Because I've had people rub my head. And tragedy has stricken them. It has struck them and they're just, wah! So, what we're going to talk about just about every day from this point on is luck. And how to use luck to create good luck to create success. Spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, financially. We're going to tell you how to do it. How many out there have something that you would like to change in your life? Something from which you would like to move? Something that you would like to have more than you have now? In spirituality, in intelligence, emotionally, financially? How many of you, is there anything out there that you would want that you don't have? Okay, we're going to tell you right now how to do that. It's called luck. Now, that doesn't mean you have to, if you see a black cat go under a ladder, that you're doomed. And you're going to be not spiritual anymore. You're going to be, all whacked out emotionally, and that your brain is going to turn into a grape. No, and financially you're going to be, begging on the street. No, that's not. You don't have to worry about superstitions. You don't have to worry about bad luck. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Here is the best definition of luck I think that Christopher and I have heard, and it came from Urban Meyer, the football coach of Ohio State University. Now he used to be the football coach at the University of Utah, and spent some time in Florida between these two universities. Totally successful. Considered by many the best college-level football coach around, and will be for some time. Here's how he defined luck. When he was talking to his football team at the University of Utah, he said, okay, we've done this and we've done this, but today we're going to need a little luck. And here's what luck is.
And preparation meets opportunity.
That's what luck is. So if you're adequately prepared, which is something you can do right today, you just get out of what you're doing and start preparing yourself when an opportunity comes along and you are ready. Boom! They collide, and that is good luck. When you are prepared, boom, and you collide with an opportunity, that's good luck. Now, if you're not prepared, because you're sitting there like you are today, and just kind of, oh, woe is me, I'm going to die, and an opportunity comes along,
you miss it and you have bad luck.
That's bad luck. So, success, growth, development depends on luck. When you are prepared adequately and an opportunity collides with you, you will have luck. Good luck, and good things will happen. Does that make sense to you, my friends out there? It makes a lot of sense to me. And so when I hear people talk about the billionaires and the multimillionaires, well, they just had good luck. They had better luck than I did. Hello? Yeah. They were prepared, and when an opportunity came along, they got it. They had good luck. Yeah, but I want good luck, and I want to be rich and smart, and I want to have all those wonderful things too. Well, then do what they did. You prepare yourself. And out there, folks, somewhere out there is an opportunity for you to be everything you've ever wanted to be, to do everything you've ever wanted to do. There is an opportunity. But if you don't prepare, that opportunity is not going to do you any good. And it will go to somebody who has done adequate preparation. Now, for the next couple of days, we're going to be talking about people who have succeeded by being prepared when an opportunity came their way. And when that opportunity came their way, they were prepared for it. Seemingly miracles happen. And it can happen to you. It can happen to you. And that's how you learn to live the American dream. And as you pursue your dream, then as you move toward it, it creates an uplift that empowers the American spirit, not only in yourself, because one success leads to another, to another, to another, to another, until you feel like you're on top of the world. But people who are near you also get caught up in this updraft of your momentum and of your motion, and that empowers their spirit. I think that's a cool concept. But it's more than a concept. I think it's a truth. What do you think?
I'm right there with you. It is the truth. I've experienced it, and I continue to experience it every day.
And it's true for you out there. All of our friends in Las Vegas, Nevada, all the way to the Pacific Ocean, through down from San Diego all the way up to San Francisco and to the Rocky Mountains and all the way up to Canada. It's true for you.
And even those listening to us internationally right now, it's true for you as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to all of our friends in Las Vegas and around the globe, we hope you have a good day. And you folks right here in Mesquite, Nevada, thank you so much for being so tolerant of me, Craig Levitt, and
Christopher Finnegan.
And we wish you a good day.